Well, hello, Stampers, and happy Tuesday to you. It is, oh my goodness, what is the date? Tuesday, January the 18th, 2022, and it's time for Parcels in the Post, which is a weekly video. So for a whole month, I choose a theme, and that theme is based on my Parcels in the Post. Do you want to know more? Well, let's take a look because Parcels in the Post is a package of very simple materials, but it saves you a lot of money because you're getting a little bit of everything and you're getting things that match. And when you get this parcel in the post, you can create with me all month long. Okay, so let's switch this. There we go. So here is the little stack of stuff. So you can see these beautiful little iridescent gems. So you get a nice chunk of those. You get 6 iridescent snowflakes. You can see how they shimmer. Then you get 3 yards of ribbon, and the colors are perfectly coordinated to go with the pattern paper. So you get this just jade with gold. You get this shimmery white with iridescence. See, and that kind of picks up the fresh freesia color in there, which is really nice. And then you get this denim ribbon. And the neat thing with the denim ribbon is that right now you can't even get it. So this is a bit of an exclusive right now. It's not available due to the shipping crisis worldwide. Then you're going to get 12 sheets of this pretty paper. And it's 6 by 6 inches. So I'm just going to flip through them all. I've used a lot of the cards that I've used the paper so that you don't need the stamp sets. There is a stamp set that coordinates with this called Penguin Playmates, and I'll show you the Dutch version. I don't have the English version here. This is there's also a punch that goes with it that punches out some of the penguins in the paper, so that's really cool too. And I love this paper. You can go through my other Parcels in the Post videos to see other cards made with it. This is the penguin that gets punched out with the punch. Okay, so here you have it. It's a lot of paper, and you'll be able to make a lot of cute things with it. It's not necessarily Christmas, but it can be. Okay, so that's the pattern paper, and then you get 10 sheets of cardstock, 2 in balmy blue, 1 in fresh freesia, soft sea foam, Calypso Coral, Basic Black, 2 in Misty Moonlight, and 2 in Just Jade. So let me know if you want some of this. You can also go to my blog, thepamperedstamper.com, to order your own parcel in the post, okay? Supplies are limited, so good luck. All right, now let's take a look at the card today. This is it, and I'm going to make changes because when I made this, the Igloo was made with our white velvet paper. Now, it's not available anymore, but it might come up on the clearance rack. So if you don't have some already, keep an eye out for it. This snowflake, the top of that was made with a mask, which was also in the holiday catalog, but I'm going to show you another way of doing that. So let's get started. All those cute critters I've cut out of the paper, and it's just really adorable. And then you can see the gems on the snowflakes at the top. Oh, and I forgot, yeah, no, forget it. One of my other parcels in the post had that pretty bedazzling paper on it. I do have some left, but it's not in this parcel in the post. Okay, I digress. Let's get started. We're starting with a piece of thick whisper white or thick basic white cardstock. This is 11 inches by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. Then I have a couple of pieces, 2 of 5 1/4 by 4. The one is going to be with the snowflakes on the top. The other one is going to be run through an embossing folder for the Igloo. And then my third piece is 5 1/4 by like 4 1/2 or so. And that's for tearing strips to make the snowbank at the bottom. See? I'm using the brick and mortar embossing folder and the snow. This one is called the Wintry 3D embossing folder. Isn't that beautiful? And then for the little opening in the Igloo, I'm using this bark folder. I've already done that. You can see here, and I've used the layering circles dies. I'm going to sponge it with a little black to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to do this embossing. I'm not going to do that on camera because the whole table ends up shaking. So give me a minute and I'll show you the results. Okay, so I'm back, and here is the beautiful snowflake embossing. So that's going to be at the top. And then here I have my brick. But I have a problem because you see that beautiful stitched circle? That is from the basic borders dies. I don't have them with me in Holland, so I'm going to show you a way to improvise with some kitchen stuff. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, and I have this blue lid, and I purposely didn't, I'm trying to save that little bit of white. Isn't that crazy? So I'm just going to lay this lid on here, and I'm going to trace. Now I have a circle, half a circle. That's really hard to do, but that's the shape I want. So you just use what you have on hand. So I'm just going to cut just inside my pencil line. But this will give me what I need. I don't have that beautiful stitching, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take my, see, that's going to go like so. And then this is going to go on the opening like that for the opening of the igloo. But I need to make it prettier. So I've got my blending brush and I have Pool Party. So let's alter our snowflakes a little bit. So tap, tap, tap. Start off so you don't get blotching. I still have a little bit of blue on here, as you can see. That's okay. And it sticks mostly to the raised edges of the snowflakes. So it's giving me, actually I'm happy that I've got a little bit of that other blue. It gives me a couple of shades at the same time. This is most likely going to be covered up, but I still want to see what it looks like. Okay, so here we have that, and then actually I want to get the edges a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And now for this part, I'm thinking I could have inked up my embossing folder, but I'm just going to take my memento and I'm just going to rub it. See? There we go. That's called a direct to paper technique. Basically just rubbing your ink pad on your cardstock. Okay, so I'm hoping I don't have too much ink on my fingers. Fold your card in half. This can go on here right near the top. So we'll start with that. And this embossing folder is in the annual catalog, so you can still get it. It's called Wintry 3D, and there's 2 in there. They're meant to fit through our mini embossing machine, which is a little bit more portable. And it comes with, the other embossing folder has like fir branches, so like an evergreen branches. So now we have this. Then we can put this on. Well, that's looking really nice, isn't it? Did you make snow forts as a kid? I did. Where I grew up, we had lots of snow in the wintertime. We had a big hedge that was between the barn and the house, and the snowstorms at night in the 70s were incredible. That hedge must have been about 10 feet tall and was covered in snow. So we would make snow forts under the hedge. Wonderful, wonderful childhood memories. Okay, so now I could have actually gone up a little bit higher with this. Maybe I will. I'll tell you why. I could still do that because I have a couple of snowbanks coming at the bottom. Okay, so this can go, I'm going to chop a little bit off the bottom here. I'm just kind of improvising as I go. There is the opening to the igloo. And I'm just going to go down a little bit, like so. I don't want that opening to be too big. All right, and now I'm going to show you a trick for making little snow lines, okay? So you want to take your aqua paint or water pen. Now this is an old one. Just make sure it's wet. And draw a line, a wet line. And then give it a second. And that weakens the fiber in the cardstock. And then you can tear without really making a big mess. See? Now I have my snowbank. And then my second one is right here. I'm just going to cut that. Let's have a look, see. So I don't want huge snowbanks. I don't want it taking up too much space. So I'm just going to do that one at about an inch. Okay, there. So now we have 2 snowbanks. And when I put these on the bottom, I'm going to leave a little bit of room so that I can tuck my creatures inside. Okay, so here you can see them. And some of them are tucked into the snow. So that's what we want. That's the look we're going for. So here we go. So what I do to achieve that look is that's going to go like so. And then this one is going to go here. And then to give it a bit more of a snow, like, snow is never 100% beautifully white. So I take my Wink of Stella. And when you do Wink of Stella, which is a glitter pen, on your edge, it's just a slight gray to it. So that gives a bit of a shadowy look too. And of course it will give a bit of glimmer. It'll give some sparkle. But you might not see that on camera. But I like the shadowy effect it gives to my snow. There we go. Lid on, put it away. Okay, so I'm going to just put adhesive along the edges here, okay? And that will give me room to tuck things in. Okay, so I'm basically just creating a pocket in case I need some wiggle room, quite literally. There. And then the same thing with this one. Just a little bit on the edges. There. Just enough to give me a little bit of room for the creature's feet or who knows what. All right, it's time to bring in the cute little adorable people. So I have here the snow bear, the little penguin. See how he can I like it that he goes with 1 foot. I can't get at it. Let me just pick that up with my scissors. There. Oops. I just want to flip that up a little bit. See? So 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like so. And then the fox over here, he's tucking in a little bit. They just look so much more real when they're tucked in. And then I'm going to put this little guy right here. And again, maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It just looks, it gives it more of a real effect. The rabbit, he's sitting in the opening to the igloo. He's like, it's a bit cold out here. I don't know if I want to come out. And then somewhere I have a flying bird. But the flying bird has already flown away on me several times. Anyway, now it's time to get these guys solidified. So I had just had a wild goose chase all over the house, through the stamp room, downstairs. Pokey tool is missing. So I'm going to have to improvise. The pokey tool is a little thing with a sharp edge, like a sharp point, to take things off. And I'm just going to have to use my scissors. But I love that thing. I think I'm going to have to buy multiple so that when I misplace them, I can always grab another one. I wanted to show you where the creatures came from. So the bear and the fox and this penguin all came from this paper. And then from this paper, I took the rabbit and the flying bird, which I have now found, and this penguin. And the penguin, I made sure that I cut off that mitten from the snowman, and he looks just great. So I'm going to just take some dimensionals, some little mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to go like this and put one in behind him, and he will stay right where he's supposed to stay. There, you don't need a whole lot. Same thing with the bear. I think the bear can use a big dimensional. Yeah, ever have one of those days where everything you put down, there disappears under something? It's one of those days. So this is a big dimensional, and maybe we'll put 2 under him. And I don't know why I'm being lazy to not take them out. I just like where they're placed, and I don't want to move them. So there's the big bear. And now the little penguin. They're just so stinking cute, these creatures. They're perfect for, I don't know if where you live there's a lot of sun or not, but I've discovered that in Holland, and I should know this by now, but for some reason this year, I think maybe it's a grayer winter than other years. And I'm like, wow, I understand that people want to travel to sunny places. There we go. And now the little bird. And should I pop up the bird or should he go flat? I think this bird's going to go flat. And then we're going to do our saying. And for the saying, I'm not going to use the saying from the Penguin set. I'm going to use one from a free set. There we go. How adorable is that? Okay, so now we're going to get a scrap of white. So you remember that white piece that I saved from the Igloo? We're going to use this stamp set. Let's have a look. And we're going to use the Stamparatus. Now the Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool. Okay, so it lets you stamp something in the same spot more than once so that you can get a darker image and a straight stamp. So I'm just going to put this in like that. Put my magnet. I put some tape on my magnet so that it's easier to grab. And I think I'm going to do, I think you're wonderful. Or I could do big congratulations. And let's have a look, see. Sometimes it's hard to see. Oh, here it is, upside down. So we'll lay that down right where we want it to go. And I'm going to stamp this in black. There, don't stick to my hand. Sometimes brand new photopolymer stamps can stick to your hand because they are super sticky, which is good. That means that they're not going to fall off anything. If you've been with Stampin' Up! For a while, you know that about 5-6 years ago, before we had our new cling stamps, the stickers, a lot of people did not put stickers on their stamps because they would fall off. Well, thankfully, that problem is a thing of the past. Okay, I'm not thrilled with that. It's a little glumpy. I think I re-inked my, I'm going to flip it like this and do one more. I re-inked my memento pad, and sometimes that can lead to a little bit of darkness on the stamp. Let's see if this one's better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. The trick is to not be too fussy. There. That's good. All right. So we're going to trim that. Move that out of the way. I have a bit of a stat going on my paper trimmer here. Did you hear that? Banging. So that works out to about 1/2 an inch. No, 5/8 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so 5/8 of an inch by, let's go 2 3/4. So 5/8 by 2 3/4. But you're going to change yours up to whatever saying you're going to use. Now I have a piece of glimmer paper. So my piece of glimmer paper that I have, this was a scrap that I saved. I'm just going to cut it to the same length. And you know what? I don't feel like grabbing my trimmer again. So I'm just going to lay the two beside each other like this. I'm going to use my scissors. There. And now I want this just to show up a little bit, like so. And so I'm going to flip this, and I want to bridge it. Maybe I'm doing things more difficultly than I should. But glimmer paper doesn't stick well with adhesive. So I thought this would be a great way to take care of the problem. See, I'm just going over top, like so, giving it a good, this is where I could use my pokey tool again. I think that's the last time I used it actually, was to do this. There, and then I'll put another piece on. And then we can put it on our card. And then the last thing we have to do is add some gems, and then we're finished. So be sure to give me a subscribe if you like the video. And when you hit the subscribe button, it's the red button at the bottom corner, then you will get my other videos as well. There's also a bell icon beside that. Look at that. That's pretty cute. Big congratulations. See, it gives the idea of all the creatures coming to celebrate and party together. They're obviously not worried about COVID. So now I'm just going to take some of these little gems. I like putting them in the middle of the snowflake. They don't all have to go there. And we could even put one on the Igloo. And you can add as many as you want. I have 3 on here. It's a good idea to add your gems in